There is no other sport in this world in which height plays such a crucial role as in basketball. With the average height being 6'7" in the NBA, there is a lot of pressure on young players to meet certain height requirements. Less than 10% of the players in the NBA are under 6 feet, and even players with heights like 6'2", which are considered quite tall compared to the average human, often don't make it to the NBA because they're being overlooked. The most important factor for height are genetic makeup, so how tall your parents are. Obviously, there are other also important factors that influence your height, like nutrition, hormones, activity levels, and medical conditions. Even though some players did not have tall parents, often under 6 feet, they still somehow managed to grow tall. This is an interesting phenomenon, and today we're going to look at such players. But before we start, if you're new, please consider subscribing. Number 10, Tacko Fall. I mean, his dad is standing at a solid 6 feet, which is nice, but not something very remarkable. Yeah, his mom is 5'8", which is admitted pretty tall for a woman. With such parents, you would expect him to grow to probably around somewhere between 6 foot and 6'1", according to height predictors. But this dude was like, no way I'm gonna be 6 foot dude. Bro, I'm gonna be 7'5". That is an unbelievable 16 feet taller than he was expected to be. Although his father is not that tall, it's also important to mention that 2 of his uncles are 6'8", and his younger brother was 5'9" at age 7. Keep in mind that the average height for a 7-year-old is 4 foot. Number 9, Wilt Chamberlain. One of the greatest and most dominant players in the NBA ever. The only player ever to score 100 points in a single NBA game. It's hard to believe that this dude had average height parents. His father, William Chamberlain, standing at 5'8", and his mom at 5'9". His mom used to tell Wilt stories of her grandfather, who was a farmer and stood around 7 foot. That might explain where the tall genes came from. It's obvious that the family had tall genes because Wilt's brother, who was called Wilbert Chamberlain. Wait, why does everyone's name in this family start with Will? Anyways, what I want to say is that his brother grew to be 6'5". Wilt Chamberlain was already 6 feet tall at age 10. Number 8. LeBron James. The king stands at a solid 6'8", which is quite impressive, and even more impressive considering that his mom stands at 5'5". No one knows how tall James' father is, but it seems that his height also isn't so extraordinary. At age 11, King James was already 5'7", which is imposing, considered that the average height at this age is 4'9". Number 7, Moses Malone. The player who is regarded as the best offensive rebounder of all time stood at an impressive 6'10". But where did that height come from? His mom was 5'2", and his dad was 5'6", both not even near the average height. But then their son towers the average height by an astonishing 13 inches. Only Moses' hands seem to have come from that combination. For his height of 6'10", he had incredibly small hands. He could just palm the ball, but couldn't even dunk. At 6'10", and he had difficulties to control the ball like so many small guards. It's crazy to believe that Malone's hands were only 7'7" long. Compare that to the average man who has 7'6" long hands. And we're not talking about the average hand length for someone who is 6'10" and weighs 275 pounds. He basically has the hand of an average man, just that he's not 5'9" like the average man, but 6'10". Number 6, Boban Marjanovic. I'm sure you've seen this clip of the giant Boban Marjanovic bullying a 6'10" Anthony Davis. Compared to Boban, Anthony Davis looks like a midget. Boban is 7'3" and therefore the second tallest player in the NBA right now. But did you know that Boban's parents weren't even above average height? His father was standing at 5'9" and his mom at 5'6". Basically, I come from another planet, Marjanovic says, like Superman from Krypton. I don't show my power because I want to play basketball. I will, and there he makes a whistling flying nose fly off when I retire. Number 5. Michael Jordan. The GOAT, who is listed at 6'6", also didn't have a tall family at all, with his mom being 5'5" and his dad 5'9". But Jordan had an older cousin who was 6'7", so probably he got his height from his cousin's side of the family. MJ says that his hardest opponent ever was no other than Larry Jordan, Michael's brother. Jordan claims that if Larry would have grown past his height of 5'8", he would have become a better player than Michael Jordan himself. But see yourself, Larry Jordan has incredible bounce. Let's look at a clip from him.
I want to talk Monty Hilder. And in Chicago, the team drafted a Jordan. Only problem, his first name is Larry. Michael's brother is only 5'8", but all that matters is that there is a Jordan playing basketball in Chicago.
When you say Air Jordan, I'm number 2, he's 1.
Number 4. Gordon Hayward. Here's a picture of Gordon Hayward with his dad, sister, and mom. His parents look quite small, although they're both 5'10". But Gordon already towered over them during his freshman year of high school. The bad news were that his doctor predicted that Gordon was not going to be more than 6'2". That's the reason for which Gordon was taught from his father the skills of a guard. He trained him to be the best ball handler, outside shooter and facilitator he could be. At one point during his youth, Gordon even considered quitting basketball to fully focus on tennis, because his chances to make it to the NBA at 5'9" weren't that realistic. In tennis, he played in a mixed doubles pair with his sister Heather, which is also on the picture. Here she is again. Gordon's first appearances in the sport pages were not because of basketball, but because of tennis. However, his mom convinced him to stay with basketball for one more year, and I think it was worth it. Number 3. Russell Westbrook. The point guard for the Houston Rockets is certainly taller than the average person at 6'3". But for basketball, he's a little more on the shorter side. I mean, keep in mind that the average height in the NBA is 6'7". Still, Westbrook is a whole lot taller than his parents. His father stands at 5'8", and his mom at 5'7", which is quite tall for a woman. Here's a picture of Russell with the fam. The mom on the left, this guy is his dad, and the dude on the right is his brother. His brother looks a little short compared to Russell. Well, it's not fair. Number 2. Kevin Durant. Wanda Durant. Kevin's mom stands at exactly 6 feet, which is in the 99th percentile for a woman. And his dad is around 6'3", which is as well around the 99th percent for men. However, Kevin decided to take this whole thing to another level by being 6'11". That means that only 1 in 631,374 people is taller than Kevin. He was already 6'3" in his freshman year of high school and had grown to a staggering 6'8" years from there on. He also has an older brother who is 6'7" tall. Number 1. Yao Ming. Yao Ming's dad, Yao Siwan, excuse my pronunciation, stands at 6'7", and his mom at 6'3", which is crazy tall for a woman. Ming's parents were both professional basketball players. Yao Ming was a giant from the start. Weighing 11 pounds or 5 kilograms at his birth, he weighed more than twice as the average Chinese newborn. At 9 years old, Yao started playing basketball, and the following year, at age 10, he measured 5'5". Quite impressive for a 10-year-old, isn't it? At this age, a sports doctor predicted his final height to be 7'3". But Yao bet the odds and grew to be a breathtaking 7'6". Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please consider subscribing and leave a like. And we'll see you next time at Hoopers.